This is Rob Tubbett for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined here today by Callum Smith in the immediate aftermath of Andy Ruiz Jr.'s stunning TKO victory over Anthony Joshua here in New York. Adam, thoughts?
Well, like everyone else, stunning, dramatic, upset victory, one that's going to rank right up there in the shocks through certainly modern boxing history. Some people are saying it's like Tyson and Douglas. I think it's not as big as that. I think Mike Tyson was, so frightening at the time, had such magnetism that I think that was a bigger one. Certainly, I felt that back then. But you probably got to put it up there with Lewis and Ratman and Lewis and McCall. Huge. No one outside his team or his close family and friends would have thought Andy could pull that off. I think that people got put off by the aesthetic look of him and didn't look really deeply into what he could do in a ring. Fast hands, big heart, great chin. But even when he got knocked down in the third round, you thought probably Joshua would get the job done. But he stuck with it. He was very clever tonight, Andy Ruiz. He got in and out of range when he needed to. He didn't put everything out there. He saved some energy. He worked the body well. And he took his advantages. And I think Joshua never really recovered from that unbelievable third round. His nose was affected. I think he was hurt by some of the body shots. His legs didn't look right at times. He went down 4 times. He got beaten by the much better guy on the night. Andy Ruiz deserves his new place as the first Mexican heavyweight champion. He told us he'd do it. I remember speaking to him on Monday at the first event of the week, and he said, "I want to high five AJ. I want to high five him and tell him how much I respect him." And I was thinking, please don't do that. That's no good for the build-up. But you know what? He conned us. He was always very, very confident that he could pull it off. He did the nice guy thing. He held the belts at the press conference, and maybe Team Joshua was slightly. Maybe they just, there was a lot of talk of Deontay Wilder, a lot of talk of Tyson Fury. All the questions seem to be about that this week, and the Wilder Ortiz announcement. And look, maybe it's not easy for someone or the team when they're told, time and time again, you've got an easy fight, you're going to win comprehensively. Maybe that mentally got into them, but ultimately, he won mentally and physically tonight. Andy Ruiz. He took his opportunity. He grabbed the golden ticket. He told Eddie Hearn what he was going to do. And he's proved it. And you know what? As sad as it is for Anthony Joshua and his fans and British boxing, it was, a sickener in many ways. I'm personally delighted for Andy Ruiz Jr. He's been nothing but, polite and professional all the way through this. He's a lovely family guy, and look, he's come a very different route to AJ, and good luck to him. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. It's an amazing story. It shows how unpredictable this sport is. I thought Anthony was very classy afterwards, giving him his moment and the manner of respect in defeat. And I'm sure he'll really be hit by it in the next 2 or 3 days, and he'll come back and have the rematch, and the rematch will be huge. But it's Andy Ruiz's night tonight, and obviously a lot of talk will be about Anthony and what went wrong, and the headlines back home will be AJ beaten for the first time rather than Andy Ruiz is the new heavyweight champion. But I like to think of, the fact that it was Andy Ruiz's night, and he thoroughly deserved it.
Now, you just mentioned Anthony was down 4 times tonight. We've also seen him hurt by Dillian Whyte in the past, Alexander Povetkin, Vladimir Klitschko. Is it appropriate to talk about a potential chin issue with Anthony?
Well, I think there was fragility shown. Yeah, definitely. I think his legs were shaky after some of the punches, and I think we knew when the Vladimir Klitschko fight happened. I think with Dillian Whyte, he got caught and he got the job done. Alexander Povetkin was later, but he had a bad start. But I think the Vladimir Klitschko fight told us that he would lose at some point. I think that the bubble was going to burst because everyone thinks of this perfect sort of athlete, and ultimately it's heavyweight boxing, and you're all going to lose at some point. Lennox Lewis was the greatest we produced, and he lost twice. And he exacted revenge both times, so it's up to Anthony to dust himself down, and I'm sure he'll want to go back and straight into a rematch and try and prove that this was a one-off, and it won't happen again. Whether it will, we'll wait and see. But his punch resistance wasn't great tonight. That could have been a number of things. The way he went about the fight, who knows? But Yeah, this isn't the night to sort of kick Anthony Joshua, I don't think. I think this is the night to praise Andy Ruiz Jr. and say, well done. He got it absolutely right. It was a fantastic, stunning performance. We've seen, many of those littered through boxing over the years, which is what makes this such a compelling sport to watch. And the rematch will be huge because AJ is a big star, and he'll want to come back and prove it that he can, regain his titles, and all focus will be on when that happens and where.
Final word on Anthony Joshua. It was his first big move to America. Much has been made about this, and we've been staying just down the road from Times Square. I've seen him on billboards. How damaging is this for Anthony Joshua? Such a resounding defeat, really. It wasn't just the fact that he got caught. I mean, he was beaten up from the third round onwards.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was a resounding defeat in the end. Down 4 times and beaten up, as you said. And it went wrong for Anthony Joshua tonight. There's no hiding behind that, and that's boxing. As I said, congratulations to Andy Ruiz for doing it. Has it damaged his reputation? It's burst the bubble. I mean, if anyone thought he was invincible, which I didn't, and I'm sure you didn't, then that is exposed forever. I mean, he's a human being. It's heavyweight boxing. He got hurt, and it's happened to numerous fighters over the years, and it will happen to many more. I'm a sort of believer in that this sort of the O of the record is not really that important. And Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, lost to Tyson Fury, and so is he really unbeaten still? I mean, he almost lost to Luis Ortiz as well, but he got a terrific victory the other night, and swings and roundabouts with this. Now we look at Tyson Fury and how he'll deal with his next fight, a fight he's expected to win. So, maybe AJ was looking past him, maybe he wasn't, maybe he just got beaten by the better guy on the night. Has it damaged it? Listen, it was a thrilling fight. When Naz came to the Garden back in '97, he got put down, 3 times and won in a 4-round thriller with Kevin Kelly. Did it damage him? No, I think it just made more people want to watch him. I think if Joshua had won, having been down a couple of times, yes, I think maybe that would have been obviously the better outcome and sort of obviously better for his global appeal here. But no, I mean, first impressions are vital, but I think the first impression was it was a dramatic tear up and a great fight. But obviously it shatters the invincibility, and he's got to rebuild and come back. So I'm sure Eddie and Freddie and all the team are devastated by it. He charmed everyone over here. It was all going so well, and in the ring it didn't. But he'll come again, and let's take our hats off to Andy Ruiz Jr., who told me 5 weeks ago that not only was he going to beat Anthony Joshua, but he was going to become a commentator alongside us and take Paulie and Carl's jobs, and Matt's jobs. So listen, it was a great night for Andy Ruiz, and I'm delighted for him.
Let's talk about the rest of the card. Callum Smith, resounding stoppage win over Hassan, and Dam looked very good.
Yeah, I thought he was terrific. I thought he got everything spot on. He'd been out of the ring since September, but he didn't look rusty at all. Hassan and Dam's a middleweight. We always knew it was going to be tough for him in there, but he got to work very quickly behind the jab, was very precise. Callum, lovely countering left hands. I think Hassan Mandam couldn't take the power or the speed. I thought it was a terrific performance by Callum Smith, and I want to keep some momentum with Callum. I'd like to see him back in September in Liverpool, and obviously, building up to a huge fight. And I'd love to see him fight at Anfield after the success of Liverpool today and winning the Champions League. And wouldn't that be amazing if he could make that happen at Anfield, possibly next spring or summer? So, it was a great night for Callum and a great night for Liverpool.
Elsewhere, Katie Taylor became undisputed lightweight champion. I think it's fair to say controversial circumstances. How did you have the fight first of all?
I thought Delphine Pursoon won the fight. I think every single person around me thought that. I think manner of whether it was a round, 2 rounds, whatever. Andy Clark had it a draw, but I think Matt and Paulie definitely had Delphine winning. Everyone around me, Carl Frampton, had her winning by a lot, and obviously he's very close to Katie Taylor. David Hay as well, Steve and Mike behind us, Dan Rayfield, loads of people. I didn't find one person that had Katie winning, apart from 2 judges. So look, as Johnny Nelson said in the studio, sometimes you need a bit of luck, and the luck of the Irish, and Irish eyes were smiling on Katie. I mean, listen, it was a very, very good fight. It was an excellent fight. To see everyone on their feet at the end, and that last round was incredible. Both girls deserve so much credit, but when Delphine Bassoon came out of the ring in tears, I really felt for her. You know, it's Katie is the classier boxer, but Delphine Bassoon took the fight to her from the word go, and I just think she out-hustled her and didn't allow Katie to settle, and I think Katie just didn't quite get her boxing off at times. She was, terrifically brave and good in parts, but, personally I think that she got pipped, and, I think Delphine Bassoon should have become the undisputed champion. So like most people, that's what I think, but, you never know in this sport. AJ had a terrible night in the ring, and Katie Taylor had a lot of luck. But she got the luck and he didn't. I felt for Delphine Bassoon a lot.
Moving through to Josh Kelly, again, another controversial result. I don't think it's quite as controversial as the Delphine Bassoon-Katie Taylor fight, but a lot of people in the media had Ray Robinson winning that fight. Contentious draw.
Yeah, I actually missed the first couple of rounds. I was out on the TV truck, so... and I believe that they were Josh Kelly rounds, or certainly on the cards of my guys. But when I sat there, I thought Ray Robinson either won the fight or I didn't think Josh won the fight from the rounds I saw. The talent was there, and again, a bit like Katie, he had the class to win the fight. But I just thought, a bit like Delphine Bassoon, Ray Robinson didn't give up. He just drove himself on and on and on, and the guys alongside us are like, take him to the dungeon. That's the Philly gym that they're from, and I thought it was a great performance from Ray Robinson, and Josh showed us his moments of class, but I think he might be a bit fortunate to have got the draw, and like Katie, fortunate to become the undisputed champion. I mean, listen, let's not take anything away from these guys and girls. Katie Taylor's been brilliant for 2.5 years as a pro, and everyone thought she'd become undisputed, but on the night I didn't think she won it. And Josh Kelly, look, it's a draw. It wasn't as important a fight, and it's a learning experience, so he needs to go back with Adam and look at what he did right in the fight and what he did wrong. And I think that he just didn't do enough in rounds, and look, Paulie was pretty scathing of his performance and of Katie's. Not scathing is maybe the wrong word, but he certainly believed that that the result should have gone the other way, and he's a pretty good judge.
Just finally, we haven't mentioned the Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz scorecards. I think one card, somewhat inexplicably, in my opinion, had Anthony Joshua ahead in the fight, whereas the other two cards were, I can't remember if they were a draw or very level. You've got those cards, you've got the Katie Taylor cards, you've got the Josh Kelly cards. How disappointing is it for you to have that going on when all of the eyes are on British boxing while we're over here?
Yeah, it's weird. I have to think over the next 24, 48 hours of what a night this was. I mean, it was a packed atmosphere at the Garden. There were some great stories. There was controversy. There was a massive upset. There was all sorts happening. So actually, it's a great spectacle of boxing from start to finish, where people thought, there's going to be a load of mismatches and whatever. And a lot of people were sort of scathing the card and saying that, Callum's got a one-round opponent. AJ will win in a round. I mean, like some of my guys in the production meet today were saying Joshua's going to win in a round or two, and I think we all thought it would end quickly. And it just goes to show that you can't write anyone off in boxing. Delphine Bassoon did not have, and still probably doesn't have, the technical ability and class of Katie Taylor, but she told us all week it wasn't a 3-round fight, it was a 10-round fight, and that she was going to show how seasoned she was as a pro, and she did that. As far as the judges go, look, we can't. That's for the commission to look at. But there were some odd scores. I certainly wouldn't have had Anthony Joshua anywhere near a lead at the finish. He went down 4 times. He knocked Ruiz down, and he probably shaded 2 or 3 of the rounds. But no, I can't see that. He lost the fight, and he lost it fair and square.
Okay, well, Adam, I do appreciate your honesty. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Go and enjoy Liverpool's Champions League win.
Well, this is it. That was a great afternoon. Liverpool winning, and obviously for the city of Liverpool with Callum bringing the world title back home, that's great. For Ireland, Katie's the undisputed lightweight champion, and for all she's achieved, despite a very tough and determined performance tonight, whatever people think about the actual fight result tonight, she's been a great ambassador for the sport, and as I said, she got the luck tonight. Good luck to her. I think Anthony Joshua will be back. Loved his respect and class at the end, but tonight belongs to Andy Ruiz Jr., Manny Robles and the team. They were absolutely sensational. They told us they were going to do it. They're a bunch of lovely guys, and good. They should enjoy it.
Adam Smith, thanks very much.
No problem.
Cheers, Adam. Nice one. That was great. Thanks, man.